So Neil, you're always on the computer. What are you looking up when you're shutting the world out?
Well, I have two major interests and hobbies of mine, and I both run blogs for them on WordPress. One is sports, and then I have the blog that you're part of, Victor, sportsandmill.com.
All right.
And the other would be ships and historic vessels.
Ships, oh. That's an interesting hobby. Not everyone's into that, okay.
A lot of people are, actually.
Really?
Queen Mary's Museum in LA, Museum and Hotel in LA is probably one of the more popular tourist. It's not in LA, it's in Long Beach, but it's probably one of the more popular tourist sites in Long Beach. It's a great hotel.
Cool.
Does not have complimentary breakfast. Just an FYI. Anyway. Sorry, I have a cold. The ship that got me into that would be the ship behind me here. The RMS Titanic. And they posted the story about how I fell in love with the Titanic on the blog. Neil.
Was it because of the movie, or was it even before that?
It was before that. It was the video game that was released a few months before the movie.
Oh, wow.
Then I went and saw the movie. My brother, I had to be escorted out of the theater by my mother for standing up right before intermission and shouting that horse shit. It was his first full sentence.
Wow.
Anyway, the Titanic, you hear a lot about it.
Yeah.
1,500 died. 1,500 to 1,520 died, depending on your sources. There's 2,200 to 2,260 on board. Sank on April 4th. Hit the iceberg on April 14th. Sank on April 15th. Took 2.5 hours to sink. We actually have no idea how the hell she sank.
We don't?
Nope.
No.
Not a clue.
Because what?
Because you have that, well, initially, the initial story was that she sank at a shallow angle and went down in one whole piece. Like, there was no huge rise. But now you get this whole theory after the wreck's discovered that she rises up and split. We know she split at the surface, because the hole is... We know for sure she sank.
Yeah.
Here's what we know for sure about her sinking. We know for sure she sank. We know for sure she sank she broke at the surface, or near it. Because the bow and stern pieces are 2.5 miles apart.
Oh, okay.
And we know it broke at a lower angle. How do we know that?
The way they fell, or?
This is actually recent discovery in 2010. A expedition led by Richie Kohler and oh god, I used to know the other guy's name, but the guys who used to run Deep Sea Detective on the History Channel went out and they were looking around the Titanic and they found two pieces of the Titanic still a hole about 1.5 miles east of the stern.
Oh, so...
If those two pieces were attached to the wreck when it hit the bottom, they're not that far out. So they had to fall off. Mm-hmm. Near the surface as well. So at some point
there was...
Those pieces came off with the split. Like, those are probably the last two pieces, because they're close together. So they actually probably held the ship together until the stern disappeared. And then fluttered off. Which is why some survivors were sure she split on the surface, because she sank so shallow.
Yeah, I was about to say, wouldn't eyewitness testimony answer most of these questions, but...
Those who were on the ship said she split.
Yeah.
Those who were on it when she went down said she split. Those who were in the water and the lifeboats said she didn't.
The mystery continues, folks.
Basically. But I will say this. The simulations say that the Titanic should have rolled to either starboard or port. Mostly port, which is opposite where the bird hit. Port being left side. When she sank. And that within a half an hour the iceberg hit. So before the first boat started, before they got halfway through the boats. So what the engineering crew was doing was not only keeping the lights going, they were balancing the ship out with the water ballast that ships could take on and still can take on.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise the ship would have capsized and sank with
immediately
more,
yeah.
Pretty much. Before they even had an idea what was going on, the ship would have rolled.
Wow.
So, it's pretty interesting. Although I will give this is a funny story. The one guy who was absolutely trashed and was the same guy that was absolutely certain she rolled the port right before she went under was one of the bakers. He rode her down. He rode the stern down. Got up. He said she rolled the port when the stern started to slide. It rolled the port as well, which meant the starboard side was sticking in the air.
Yeah.
Which no one else saw.
Just except this drunk guy.
Except this really drunk guy. So everyone just thought it was him being drunk and experiencing the sinking in his own way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now there's evidence that.
Drunk guy might have been right, folks.
Don't forget to listen to drunk guys. They occasionally are right.
Words of wisdom from Neil Roberts.
Oh, quickly. That guy was quoted as saying, it was like taking a swim. Watching into the water. He killed the entire friggin' second class bar, basically, that night.
Oh.
It was like swimming in the pool.
That's
Just taking a swim.
It's intense drinking. Like.
No kidding. It helped him survive because it constricted his blood and stuff and prevented it
Yeah.
from all rushing into his heart at once. So, yay for alcohols.
Alcohol helps on occasion.
All right.